Hello, good guys. Welcome to my comprehensive guide on mastering DOM manipulation in JavaScript. In this video, I will walk you through practical examples and best practice to empower you with skills needed to confidently manipulate the document object model. From selecting and modifying elements to handling events and dynamically updating content, you will gain a solid understanding of the leverage JavaScript for powerful web development by managing the DOM. So before going for the practical examples, let's understand what is the DOM. So DOM stands for document object model, where document is nothing but your web page HTML file. Object is nothing but the elements and attributes in your HTML or web page files, which can be head, body, title, ID, content, etc. What is the model? In DOM, actually the tree structure of the HTML element is, the model. So let's understand what happens whenever a web page or HTML loads in the web browser. The web browser creates DOM for the page. So whenever web page or HTML load in the web browser, this web browser, manage the DOM. That DOM is nothing but a, document object model. So the DOM object model is a programming API, application programming interface for the HTML and XML documents. Why we should learn HTML DOM? DOM is a W3 standard to understand the structure of the HTML so that we can manipulate the DOM elements using JavaScript or jQuery methods. Here DOM elements, using the Java query and JavaScript, we can manage the DOM elements. We can create dynamically elements. We can delete dynamically. We can change the content of the elements. We can change the CSS styles dynamically. So these are all things we can use using the JavaScript, with the HTML DOM. So there are lots of documents methods available in order to manipulate the, HTML DOM. When working with the document object model in JavaScript, there are various methods available to select document elements. These methods allow you to retrieve elements from the HTML document and manipulate them as you need it. So here are some of the most commonly used document methods for element selection. So let's see document.get element by ID, document.get element by class name, document.get element by tag name, document.query selector, document.query selector all, document.get element by name. So these are a few to list here. We have a document methods. These methods will help us in order to make a selection of the DOM elements. So let's practice DOM manipulation. So we are going to open or any standard editor or any IDE. So I open the Sublime and I'm going to create one HTML file. So let me save this file on the desktop. Simply I can say DOM practice.html. Let me write HTML. Okay, fine. I'm writing DOM practices. We are going to create some, in the body, we are going to create something. So we are going to create, one div. Inside div, we can write here paragraph and we can say this is a paragraph. This is a paragraph 1. We can copy paste this one. Fine. Here we can add in this one another outside called the button. Button can have click me. Now here this paragraph, I'm just making the I'm creating different kind of elements in the HTML, and then I will try to manipulate those elements which is part of the DOM using the JavaScript. So let me write the paragraph ID. It could be P1. Then it can have a class name. Class name can be same like a my paragraph. Or let me copy paste this one, then I will change it. So guys, you might know what is the ID. ID is the, it is uniquely identify elements. More than one elements can belong to the same class, but more than one element cannot have the same ID. So guys, we have created. So actually, this is your, this is a document, and in the document you have a div, you have a head, you have a body. These are objects. You have a ID, you have a class. these are objects, and these, when we open in this web browser, this web browser creates a DOM like this. So when you open this HTML file in the browser, they creates a DOM. So in the DOM you can see here, you can turn in the DOM, you see here the document is the the top, the HTML you have a root elements. In this root elements you have a two more elements which is called the child elements, head and body. Head can have a title, can have a meta tag, can have a link, can have a string. Here we have only titles, and body have many elements like h1, like a heading and anchor. So this is the job of the web browser. They all derive the those DOM tree structure based on your HTML file or web page. So let's go back to the code here. So now we are going to use the DOM. We are going to manipulate the DOM. To manipulate the DOM, we need to include the JavaScript. So we are going to use the script tag to write a JavaScript. So I am going to handle the events also simply. So I am saying on click of this button called learning DOM function. Simply any name you can give, guys. Simply I'm giving learning DOM function. So this function, when I click this button, this function will be called. Okay. So I'm going to say, I'm going to open the browser. DOM is ready. You can see I click, but nothing is happening. So on click of this, we are saying please call this function. So we need to define this function in the JavaScript. So we are going to check it out under the script. I'm going to define the function opening closing. So when I define this function, when I click, what I'm going to show you, because DOM, using the DOM, why we are learning the DOM? In order to manipulate the HTML element dynamically. So for that purpose, we need to, initialize, when I click this button, we need to know these all elements. So we are going to, simple one I'm going to use. So I'm going to write a variable. I can say like a P4 paragraph or P1. Simply, you can give any name, like let me para1 as a name, then equal to document dot get element by id. This function, guys, case sensitive, guys. Get element is capital, by B capital, id I capital. I'm going to say please document. This is your whole is document. This is your document. The whole HTML page is document. In this document, you want to access the elements. How? I want to access the element by ID. So I have ID. See, that's why I have given the paragraph different ID P1, P2. So I want to access the P1. Okay. What do we want to do? Once I done it, so I initialized it. This is called the I have initialized. So when I do this one, you can go now, you can use the para1 and I want to change now. So I can say text content equal to, you can make changes. You can say, I want to change this one is a para1. I have done it. So what I mean to say here, when I run this one, you can see this is your documents file. When I run, on click of this button, then click on this button, this function will be called. And when this function will be called, I'm initializing this document element by ID. This is the ID, this one. I'm initializing the para1. So now this para1 is actually this paragraph 1. And I'm trying to say para1, this one, para1. Try to change the text content, means the content you have written here, this text content. Please change it dynamically when on click of this button. So let us go and check it out. Right click, open it, click on this. You can see the para1, this is a paragraph 1 was changed. So don't worry, guys, let me change it here to 3. So let me reload it and click on this. On click, para1 is changed. This is because I have made, when I click on this button, on click, you call this function. In this call the function, I'm trying to get this get element by ID by P1, which is this one. This is a P1, and change the text content, is this part of this para1, which is this one, by this. If you want to change for many, you can do for many. So guys, we have seen how to change the content of the HTML element dynamically by using the JavaScript. So this is we are manipulating the DOM elements. So let's go and used a different kind of, we have a different kind of functions. So we have a different kind of function. You can see here we have class name, we have a tag name, we have a, we have a query selectors, etc. So I'm going to use, by class name. So you can see I'm going to use the class name, this one, guys. So you can see I have given the class name here. Can you see this one? So I'm using this class. So this 3 paragraph belongs to the same paragraph. I mean to say in the same class. So I'm going to here paragraphs as a variable name. I'm going to write here, document dot get element by class name. Get element by class name. What is the class name, guys? Class name is this one. So this code is going to retrieve all the the element of the document which have a my paragraph class name. So this will return, the list of the paragraph. So now to iterate, since it is bringing the list of the paragraph, in short, it has a 3 paragraph. So better to iterate throughout the paragraph. So we are going to the for loop. So we can do integer, ij, anything that you can use I equal to start from 0, because it will return the list. This, document dot get element by class name, my paragraph will return the list of elements, list of paragraph in short here, because of I'm using applying on the paragraph. So the list of element will be at the 0 index. I'm using the I. Then we can use the length of this one, how many paragraph they are returning. So we can use the paragraph dot length function. Then we can go there. Then we can do here I plus plus opening closing. So I want to access the first paragraph at it. I want paragraph at a time. So paragraph, this element, a script, square bracket, we put the I value. What you want to change? I want to change the text content. I want to check the text content here. I want to just justify. I can say paragraph, we are changing this paragraph, paragraph which plus. I want to say paragraph 1, paragraph 2. So I is the value coming as a 0 first. So I'm going to write I plus 1. So paragraph 1, paragraph 2 plus concatenate. I'm writing say dynamically. Simply, I just want to change it. So once done, guys, let me save it. So what I'm going to, what is going to happen if all is well, when I click this button, on this click button, I'm calling the learning DOM function. This is a learning DOM function is calling. They will, first of all, they will read the document dot get element by ID paragraph 1. He will change with the para 1. Thereafter, you are going to read all the paragraph. Right class name means here we are learning the different document methods. You learn one get by element by ID. Another one you are learning the document dot get element by class name. So what will happen when you use the get element by class name? This line will retrieve all the elements in the document which has a my paragraph class. You can see these 3 paragraph belong to the my paragraph class. So they will return the list of elements. So I'm going to iterate through the list of those elements, means paragraph, and I'm using this index, square bracket I, in the first 0 at 0 index first paragraph, at 1 index second paragraph, at 2 index third paragraph, and I'm trying to change some text, means this part dynamically. On here, what I'm going to say, we are changing this paragraph. Here I'm trying to say paragraph 1, 2, 3 because I is 0, so I'm writing 1, so become 1, 2, 3, and dynamically simply to check. So let me open it, guys. I'm going to open this one in the new browser, and I click here. Something is wrong, guys. Let me check what is the problem is coming. So what problem is here? Text dynamically. I think so. This semicolon is missing here. Let me try. Right, this semicolon was missing here. Let me save it and reload it. I reload it. Click here. Still not working. Let me see what is the problem. So we have added these 4 lines. Before this part was working, so there is some problem it seems. So let me check from each and every one. Document dot get elements. Okay, S, guys, here should be S get elements, a class name so far. Then for blah blah blah. Let me save it. Here is a comparison, guys. Condition is missing, so we can say I less than less than length. Let's go and refresh it. So this time will work. and it's not still working. Let me check what is the problem. So I paragraphs, this is a paragraph dot length document get elements by class name. Okay guys, here is also semicolon is missing. So here I am going to click it. Still not. Hope supposed to work here. I was expecting, so let me check again. There is some silly mistakes still. So all looks good. Okay guys, we are in the Java. Here I'm trying to use the int, but here in the for loop. But in the JavaScript we don't specify the data type. We use the var. So we are going to use the var fix guys here, and hope this time it will work. Let me go refresh, click it. Yes, you can see we are changing this paragraph 1 dynamically to 3. This is happening because of this one is dynamically we are reading from here. So you can see guys, we have used the document.get element by id p1, so we can access the DOM elements by id. We can access the DOM elements by document element, we can say also by class name, and we can also use the select query. We can use the select query all, etc. We can do it. So let me because we are learning the DOM, because we can manipulate the DOM elements dynamically, we can change the style of the elements. So guys, allow me to change one color of this paragraph. So I'm going to use the same function. I'm going to change the color of this paragraph or any paragraph. So I'm going to change the style using this CSS style. So we can make the change. So on click of this button, I'm going to change the color of this one. So how to do that? So we have already accessed this paragraph by id. So you can see by id, and you are changing this paragraph. So let me do it. I'm using the para one, which is this one, these elements, which is a initialized by p1 style dot color equal to, let me use red and semicolon. Save it. I'm going to open, reload, and click on this. You can see we are able to change the color of the paragraph. So you can see guys, we using the JavaScript, we are able to manipulate the DOM. We can change the content of the element dynamically. We can change the style of the element dynamically. We can also do many things. There is some assignments to do guys. You can take away from there. You try to explore the flowing document method and practice them to differentiate their functionality. How will you function? You can try to say get elements by tag name, try to see what is the query selector, and try to see what is the query selector all. Try to practice and try to find what is the difference and what is the best practice to use this one. And after practicing these all three methods, try to find the difference and add on my comments of this video. So guys, thank you so much for this session.